GCSE Exam Preparation, May 2011. As part of your examination, you will undertake 2 papers. Paper 1 will consist of Section A, a reading comprehension, in which you have to read a text and answer 4 questions, and that is worth 40 marks. Section B is where you have to use descriptive writing and creative writing, and together they are also worth 40 marks. Paper 2, Section A, again is reading, but this time is non-fiction and media. You will have to compare 2 or more texts and answer a range of questions. Again, these are worth 40 marks. On Section B, you will have to write for a purpose. This will involve writing a letter, either formal or informal, and writing an article, again formal or informal, and together these are worth 40 marks. Now we will look at reading comprehension. This is what your exam paper will look like. You will get a text and you will get 4 questions to answer. Firstly, read the text thoroughly. When you have read the text thoroughly, read the question and highlight around the given section. Thirdly, reread the section and highlight as many points that relate to the question as you possibly can. And finally, answer the question using point, evidence, explanation, link. When answering questions 1 and 2, you will only need to use point and evidence. And the more relevant point evidences that you can find and write in your answer, the higher your mark will be. Paper 1A, writing a simple answer. This question asks you to look at lines 1 to 26. It is worth 10 marks. The question, the setting of this story is London in the future. What evidence is there in these lines that the text is a future very different from now? You can find this exam paper on the school website. In this answer, our candidate was awarded 7 marks. This is because there are 7 relevant quotations taken from the text, and because of this, the examiner has awarded 7 marks. Paper 1, Section B, Descriptive Writing. Don't forget, when you write to describe, you must remember the rule of 5. At least 5 paragraphs, 5 sentences, 5 different language devices, 5 different punctuation marks, and at least 5 different ambitious words. Don't forget the golden rule. Do not use the pronouns I, me, my, or you and your. Here is an A-star example. Top tips for descriptive writing. Don't forget to pre-plan your character descriptions. You can have any kind of character that would fit into any situation. For example, an old man, a young girl, a mother with a child. Create your language devices now. Use a simile, a metaphor, personification or alliteration. Have your ambitious words prepared beforehand, and don't forget you must know how to spell them. Check your sentence structure, spelling, punctuation and grammar when you have finished. Don't leave out capital letters and the basic punctuation. It's worth 1/3 of your marks. Now you can have a go yourself. Describe the scene at a bonfire party on bonfire night. Or describe the scene in the yard at the start of the school day. You can pause the video at this point. Paper 1, Section B, Creative Writing. Creative writing is practically the same as descriptive writing, but you can use your pronouns I, me, my, you and your. Remember to include a setting, characters, but don't use more than 3 or you will confuse yourself, a problem, some dialogue that is correctly punctuated, and you need to end your problem. Don't forget, the most important line is your opening line. Make it catchy so it draws in the examiner. Here is an A-star example answer. Look at the start. It draws in the reader. Paper 2, Section A, Reading, Non-Fiction and Media. In this section, you will be given a range of non-fiction and media texts. You must read all of the text thoroughly. Once you have read them, quickly pal your text. What is the purpose of the text? Who is the audience? What kind of language is used? And how is it set out on the page? When you answer your questions on paper 2, they only need to be simple. Forget using Peel and using TLC. You just need to use point and evidence, a minimum of 5 times. You are aiming for 10 marks. Imagine that one relevant point and evidence is worth 1 mark. Look at the example answers to the question. What are Petronella Wyatt's thoughts and feelings as she prepares to ride the TT course? Again, this paper can be found on the school website. Here is an A-star example answer. Why is this an A-star answer? In this answer, the candidate has used numerous points and found a lot of evidence relevant to those points. Don't forget, the more you use, the higher your mark will be. Paper 2, Section B, Writing for a Purpose. Paper 2, Section B, Writing for a Purpose. You will be asked to write 2 separate pieces, most probably a letter and an article. One of these pieces will be based on the subject matter from Paper 2, Section A. For example, on the paper with Petronella Wyatt, the text is about motorcycle racing. Candidates were asked to write a letter about motorcycle racing in their area. Remember, your basics are worth 1/3 of the marks, a total of 14 marks out of the 40 for both pieces, so make sure you check your work thoroughly. Remember that you need to use aphorist, anecdotes, facts, opinions, rhetorical questions, experts, statistics, and triples. When you write a letter, make sure that you have the following. For a formal letter, you must have 2 addresses, yours and the addressee. On an informal letter, you only need to have your address. You need an appropriate opening and ending, at least 5 paragraphs, including an introduction, a conclusion, and 3 opposing opinion paragraphs in between. At least 5 different punctuation marks, at least 5 ambitious words, a range of language devices. Show your background knowledge of the subject, and don't forget to use rhetoric, or, as we call it, aphorist. Here are some A-star example answers for writing for a purpose. You can pause this at any time. Now it's time for you to have a go. Write a letter to the local newspaper to express your views about the closure of your local leisure centre. Or, your school is concerned about their recycling habits. Write an article for the school newspaper to persuade students to recycle. Good luck!